Hello everyone, today I'll be showing you how to build a relatively basic sheet using Microsoft Excel to track your sales and costs when selling on eBay. Before I dig into this, if you do find this video helpful to you, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Alright, let's go. So this is kind of what is generally going to look like at the end of everything. Just, again, say pretty basic with everything kind of pre-calculated so you can kind of keep track of things with relative ease, add things as you go, and it'll still keep it nice and clean. So we're going to go over here and we're going to start a brand new sheet. We're going to just start at the top here. I like to just go down a line and I'll just label eBay sell log. You can really put whatever you want here. Selling log, eBay sales, anything really works. Then we're going to start adding our categories. So first one I'm actually going to put is category. You can use caps, you don't have to use caps. So the category is just helps me bulk my inventory together, whether it be video games or CDs or books, clothing. It'll allow you just to kind of organize and filter as you go. Second, we're going to do the item name. Third will be date purchased. Next one will be location purchased, like where you got it. And don't worry if all this stuff kind of overlaps itself. We're going to fix that just in a second here. Our price that we paid, any sales tax that we paid on it, and then we're going to go to the date that it was sold, sale price, sales tax, if you do charge any, tax percentage, which we can pre-calculate a tax percentage in there. Selling in Canada with province to province, the tax is different, so that could be important to you. You can always leave the taxes out if you aren't collecting or remitting taxes. If you don't have a registered business or you don't have to collect taxes for that purpose and you just want to sell kind of your personal stuff without collecting tax, this works as well. Just skip the tax tabs. We do our shipping charged, shipping tax, and then we're going to do our actual shipping cost, actual shipping tax. This would apply in the event that if you are, say, giving away shipping, so doing free shipping and there's no tax on it, or if you have like a set rate of flat rate for shipping and you maybe pay a little less with discounts. We're going to do our packaging material cost, and then obviously the taxes on that. Sometimes you're buying envelopes or boxes. A lot of times you can get away for free, but if you really want to dive deep into it, which I like to do, I like to see how much I'm paying on packaging material. And then obviously the important eBay fees, PayPal fees, and then the most fun part of all is the profit. Any tax owed to the government. I like to put a DOH, which is days on hand, and it'll calculate how long I've had the item. PPD, which would be profit per day based off the days on hand. And ROI, obviously return on investment. Those are just some fun analytics that I like to keep. You don't have to put them if you don't want. But yeah, anyways, so then I like to drag these out just to kind of have a bit more space. You can also blanket this and then wrap the text. It kind of puts it a little bit closer together. You can also center everything. So just dress this up a little bit so it looks a little prettier. Okay, so now we kind of have the basics down. So what I like to do now as well is I'm going to highlight this section here without that end one. And I'm going to do sort and filter. And I'm going to add filters. And what this does is puts a little drop down box under each one, so when you do eventually start going down and you want to reference something to say, like, how much you've sold in November or October, you're going to be able to actually select and filter through your massive list to see your sales for a certain month. So now we have that. We're going to just format certain tabs here so they're going to keep everything kind of nice and deep. So we have date purchase, location, so our price, our sales tax. I'm holding control down here to select multiples. We're going to skip date sold, sale price, sales tax, shipping charge, shipping tax, this, fees, profit tax. And then I'm going to then do drop down menu here. We're going to change it from general to currency. And then we're going to take these two for dates and switch them to short date. And then the last thing we want here is tax percentage, and we're just going to change that to percentage. And that way when you throw a number in here, say 5, it's going to put it to $5. And if you put something in here like 8, it's going to automatically put, 8, it should be 8%. Now you can reduce this down if you'd like, it's entirely up to you. Okay, so now it's in here. We're going to now draw just a nice little border box so we know where to drag our formulas. So I'm going to go down to say 60 for argument's sake. Let's try that again. Let's just go down to 30. So then up here, we're going to go to borders. We're just going to do all borders. And it just kind of tidies everything up and you have a little bit more to look at. So now what I like to do is just to pre-fill an item. Just as an example, just so you know the formulas are starting to work. So category, let's just say video games. And the item name, let's just say Call of Duty PS4. Or, you can always actually do PS4. It might help for filtering. Call of Duty. So date purchase, let's just say I purchased it on November 15th. Location purchased, you can say, let's just say Walmart. Price was $19.99. My sales tax, in Ontario here is 13%, so I'm just going to do equals this times 13%. So I paid $2.80 in sales tax. The date sold was 11/16, say sold the next day. And the sale price was $24.97, and it sold again to someone in Ontario. So a lot of times on your PayPal invoice, you're going to see what the actual dollar figure is, so you don't have to necessarily pre-calculate the tax. I just noticed that I'm just using 13% as an example, but if you have, if it's going to be 5% or something, just put the dollar figure in, and this next tab here will calculate it for you. So for this one, we're just going to do equals this divided by this, and that's going to give you that 13%. So if you happen to say it was just $3.25, it's going to give you 13%. Shipping charge, we'll just say this game was free shipping, which therefore there was no tax. Actual shipping cost cost me, let's say, $1.80. It was a postage, and then the actual tax would have been 23 cents, which is 13%. Packaging material costs, let's say it cost me 13 cents for an envelope, and the tax on that would be this times 13%, 2 cents. Now here's the fun part, is the eBay fees. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit equal, and you're going to open a bracket, and then you're going to say, you're going to do our sales price plus shipping, because eBay is going to charge you based on both. You're going to close that bracket, and then you're going to times that by 10%. Now, if you have an eBay store where you're actually paying a subscription, that percentage goes down. Now, without an eBay store, you're only going to get 50 free listings per month. If you open up the basic store, which is about $20 Canadian a month, you're going to get 250 quote-unquote free listings. So you get a lot more listings. If you're just starting out, I recommend just keep with your free 50 until you either have enough inventory to really justify the $20 a month, or if your sales are just turning around so fast, you have a lot to list and you just obviously can take advantage of it. So let's just keep it for the 10% for this formula here. So I'm going to hit enter. So it's going to say eBay fees are $2.50 based on the sales price plus shipping. Now if I change this shipping to say $2.49, the fees do go up. So that way I do know that formula is working. Now PayPal fees, same kind of deal. Now you're going to do equals, you're going to open a bracket, you're going to do sales price plus shipping, close the bracket, and you're going to times that by its 0.0025%. So it's not even a full percentage, it's a quarter of 1%. What you're going to do also is you're going to click up here, you're going to add an extra bracket. Once you close off that bracket, you're going to add 30 cents, so 0.3. So what it does is it takes a quarter of a percent of the total sale and then 30 cents. And you're going to close that bracket off. Oh, no, it's already closed. Hit enter. So PayPal fees for this would have been 30 cents. So now to calculate your profit, all you're going to do is you're going to take your sales price plus shipping, and you're going to minus your purchase price, your actual shipping cost, your packaging material, your eBay fees, and your PayPal fees. That's it. So profit's a quarter on this. So it shows you that actually, even though I paid 20 for it and sold it for 25, I only make 25 cents on it based on all the extra reductions in fees. Tax owed, you then would take your tax collected plus this, and then you subtract your tax that you've paid. So tax owed is 20 cents. Now to calculate the days on hand, you're just merely going to take equals, and you're going to take the date sold, and you're just going to subtract it from the date purchased. Days on hand. Profit per day, again, like I said, it's just going to take your profit and divide it by how many days. And then your return on investment, you're just going to take your profit and divide it by your purchase price. Actually, I'm pretty sure that's how I did that. So E4, let's double check this. That's where do I have E4? Yep, that's what I did. Okay. Don't look at those other formulas here. We're going to get that into a second. So now that we have that, we're going to create a blanket if-then statement. So then if you see here, and I have this all collected here, and let's say the item hasn't sold yet, but you have it in inventory. Let's just say I bought a second one of these. I bought it on the same day. I bought it at Walmart. My purchase price was the same. Oops. But it hasn't sold yet. If you start dragging these numbers down, it's going to just start copying. And it's going to give you divided by 0 because there's nothing. This is trying to calculate the next cell, but there's no data there for it to calculate. So it's going to give you all these. And if you drag it all the way down, it's going to look horrible. So we remove that. We want to create a basic if-then statement. So if it hasn't sold in this column here, nothing's going to happen over here. So I like to just come up here and I'm just going to do if bracket, and we're just going to do, we're going to do equals if bracket, and we're going to do date sold, so G4 equals, and that's a double quote mark, which would symbolize if G4 cell here is empty, we're going to do comma, then we don't want it to do anything, so we're going to leave it blank. Otherwise, we just do comma. We're going to keep that bracket open. So copy this, hit Control C, and I'm going to delete it. So then we have sales price equals if G4 this, that, and then otherwise, actually no, we don't need this one. Yeah, I know. So sales tax. So let's do it on here. And we close the bracket off. Get rid of that extra equals. Do it on here. Close off the bracket. Enters. Do it on here. Close off the bracket. That's the same thing. So we're adding it to almost every cell. just to keep things nice and clean. So that way, I don't have any of that. So all these fees have the if-then statement. So if I drag it down, it's going to stay blank. If I drag this down, it's going to go to zeros. So I want to add it onto here as well. So that's 13%. The packaging material costs you enter in manually. Your actual shipping tax you're going to enter in manually. Manual. Manual, manual. So then we're going to do this on this one because we have a preset formula. This one's manual, that one's manual. And you're going to be manualing on this one as well. So say it's 13%. Okay, so now that we have our if-then statements are pre-built for what we need, because everything else is going to be manual, we're just going to double check, which we just did. We're going to make sure that those are in there. And like I said, you click on this, it's going to highlight the cells that it's calculating from. So now, what we can do is if we take this out, all those disappear. See that? So if we haven't sold it yet, it's not going to appear. So sales price, tax, shipping, blah 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 blah. So we can actually drag this down to the bottom. And anything with a formula, which are these ones, we're going to drag this down to the bottom of our chart. So now the calculations are in there for everything. So if we had this for $19.99, we ended up selling it on, let's say, December 1st. So we got all these formulas and a bunch of stuff's going to pop up. Once you hit that, the sales price, let's say we sold this one for $35, but no sales tax. And the shipping charged, we charged 0, or let's say we charged $1. And the shipping tax on that was 0 because we sold it to the States. Actual shipping cost us $2.95, and the tax was 38 cents. Material cost was 13 cents. So you see here now, our return on investment was 45%. We actually made 56 cents per day holding it and held it for 16 days. We actually owe negative $3 to the government because we paid $3 in sales tax more than what we collected back, and our profit was $9 on this. So if I just get rid of, let's say I get rid of these. We want this, 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 this. So we're back up to here with our first example. And now we're going to just kind of color format things just to make it a little bit more pretty. So our color format here, we're going to do for profit, which I like to do. We're going to drag all the way to the bottom here, and we're going to go to conditional formatting. I'm going to go to highlight cell rules, and if they're greater than 0.01, so if I made profit of a penny or more, it's going to fill it with green. And then I'm going to create a second rule. Again, I'm going to do less than. So if it's less than minus 0.01, I'm going to fill it with red. So if I lose money, it's going to highlight in red. And if it's blank, it's just going to stay green. So now that that is done, we're going to color format our sales tax. What I like to do with the tax is I just like to put it in a bit of a lighter color, just so your eye isn't drawn to it, so you kind of focus more on the numbers that you like. So I'm highlighting all of these. I'm holding down Control to highlight all these at once, and I like just kind of a softer pastel color, something that you can see but it's not standing out. So I'll put that. So you see now all the taxes are in their own color, and now you can just kind of decorate a little bit, and you know, you want to put a different color here, something at the top, and then I'll change these up because these are more analytics. Let's put this as a darker color. And then we got our eBay sell log, which I'm going to bold and change the font size Just say 48 for fun. Let's make this green. Is that like green? And then you just kind of decorate this up a little bit, however you see fit. You can bold it, you can change the font color. You know, you bold it, it'll kind of mess with things a little bit. You can always just move it, just so it's a little cleaner. There we go. And now you have it, and there your basic calculations are set in place. So now if you have something, say, let's say we do clothing, and the item name is a I don't know, golf shirt, and you bought it on October 5th, and you bought it at a thrift store, and you paid say $3 for it, no tax, and you ended up selling it December 15th, and you sold it for $49.97, and there was, let's say, $3.18 sales tax. It'll calculate at 6%. You didn't charge them anything for shipping, so no tax on shipping, but your actual shipping cost was $14.67 to ship. So your actual shipping tax, and like I said, you can kind of pre-build this in if you want, where you just have to do equals this times whatever your tax rate is. So here in Ontario it's 13%, so I'm just do 13% and I'll just buff it in there. Let's say I had a bunch of mailers, I paid let's say I paid $10 for 150, and you want to know what that really works out to. Just do 10 divided by 150, so I paid 7 cents for a mailer, and then obviously the tax pre-calculated on that. eBay would have taken $5 in fees off of that sale. PayPal would have taken 30 cents, which would leave me with a profit of $26.94, which is an 898% return on investment. I held it for 71 days with 38 cents per day profit. So now that kind of everything's built in here, this is essentially the gist of it, guys. Now you can just kind of build and go as you want. Let's say your clothing, say it's clothing, and then we add video games. And you want to just figure out, okay, this is how the filters will work. You just select, okay, I want to see all my video games in stock. Boom. And then it removes everything else that you have. So whether you have, 1, 2, 10, 50, 5,000 items listed on this spreadsheet, you can filter it based on your category. You can filter it based on when you purchased it, when you sold it. You can, if you want to see which is a hot spot for you for profit, you want to see the thrift store on, Barton Avenue, or 37th Avenue is giving you the good stuff, and you gotta know that's the one that's gonna be the place to constantly hit. And then you can also see, again, with your data on hand, I like to use as kind of a guide to say, okay, well, if I'm buying video games and they're sitting for an average of 35 days before they sell, but I'm buying puzzles and they're selling within a week, it kind of helps you curb your way towards finding what you think works best for you and what you like to sell. Anyways, that's pretty much it, guys. That's the spreadsheet that I've been using for years. It has worked very well for me. I have thousands of items in my columns. I filter out the ones that I've sold, so I'm not scrolling as much. But yeah, that's basically it. And if you did want to change your tax percentage, you can do that. If you want to eliminate sales tax, just delete these, and then if anything goes out of whack, such as this, which is tax owed, but if anything else goes out as whack, just remember what cell is gone, and it should actually work well. Delete, delete, delete. Because your taxes aren't calculated in its own self. All your profit stays the same. So now you have a bit of a cleaner look without the taxes put in there. Like I said, it's entirely up to you. Whatever works. But this keeps me in check, keeps me on track, and then if I want to figure out my taxes at the end of the year, I can. I guess another thing too, if you really wanted to kind of have a little tab at the top, which I like to have as well, is you can just do total sales. If you want to keep track overall, so you just have to do equals sum bracket, and then start at the top and drag it all the way down to the bottom of your list. Close off the bracket, and it's going to tell you your total sales, how much money in total you've actually sold. If you want to add sales tax, you can add that, and even, like say, profit. You want to see how much total profit you've made. We're getting a little out of hand here, but again, you just do equals sum total profit down your whole spreadsheet. and it's going to tell you $27.19. I've made total profit since I started on this sheet. That's pretty much it, guys. So I hope you found this video helpful and are able to utilize it to keep track of your eBay sales. If you're too busy to build this, I'll put a link below where you can actually buy a pre-built copy of this. I can even cater it to your needs if you want. Just send me a private message. Like I said, it'll probably be on eBay or some other platform. I'll pre-fill it with a capacity for 1,000 items. And like I said, if you ever want to add more, you can always just drag this down, even with the current stuff in there. So guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. It'll help me continue to provide useful stuff like this for you guys. This is one of my first videos, so please, I'm sure it's a little choppy. I don't have any sort of fancy production behind it, but nevertheless, I hope it works. I hope it helps you, and let me know. Keep hustling out there, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.